are live for This Week in Business. Hi, Anthony. How are you today?
Good morning, afternoon. Well, it's midday, so it's afternoon, isn't it? It's no longer midday. I'm an hour behind.
Look, I was just doing some work for a client over Easter and I was very confused at what time it was. The benefits of being virtual is that you can work with everyone.
You know what? We're not confused about what month it is, though. It's still only November.
Yes.
And the Christmas decorations have started to pop up around, and I've noticed some really cool shop fronts around Bunbury as people start to get a little bit of excitement there. I think you were saying earlier on when we were discussing that perhaps the excitement around Christmas this year is that we can kiss 2020 goodbye.
100%. And look, some of the chambers of commerce I've seen around are actually doing a shop front Christmas window display competition for their members. I know the Donnybrook Chamber is, and I believe the Cable Chamber maybe as well. So if you are a part of those chambers of commerce, get in on it. Dress up your shop. Let's get into Christmas. It's a bit of fun.
And please do what you can to support and tag those businesses that are doing it. If you're out there, you see them, take a photo, tag them in, share their work, because it's great to see people, putting the work in to help create a great Christmas shopping experience.
And, that really links into what we're going to talk about today. We all need to shop local and support local businesses. Now, Anthony, you're going to talk about Google My Business and why that links in to supporting local right now.
For certain. Look, as we approach the Christmas months, a lot of businesses will be, or Christmas period, a lot of businesses will be taking some hard-earned time out, and we all know that we deserve it. But as a customer, I want you to think for a second what you do and how you go about shopping. And one of the things that we often do is when we go to look up a business, Google provides the little results on the right-hand side of the page. That'll have, the name of the business, the hours, their contact numbers, and you'd be astonished how much faith people put in that information. I've met people who travelled to Meekatharra and got there at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night, expecting to go to a certain place for dinner. Oh, it would have been the pub. There's not too many places in Meeka. But they've arrived and the pub was closed. They closed at 5 o'clock, but they hadn't updated it. In your business, log into your Google business listing. It's absolutely critical. You've got a handle on that anyway. So if you haven't done that before, claim it. But log into it. You can shut the days off that you're going to be closed. If you're opening different hours over the holiday period, put those hours in now before we start to get to the silly season and you forget about it. It's probably one of those top priorities that you really need to get onto. While you're doing it, if it's feasible on your current website, put your hours on the website. If you're going to have a different period there, pop those times up, as well as on Facebook too, which is another place that people sometimes look for your hours on as well. But it's a small thing that we really encourage everyone to do at this time of the year, is to get onto it, because let's face it, you don't make any business when you don't do any business, but you can upset customers when you're closed and they expect you to be open. So not a huge thing, but it's worth it.
And look, if you're one of those businesses that is having some Christmas decorations up for Christmas, maybe put it on your Google My Business listing as well. It gets everyone in a bit of a festive spirit with a new photo on your listing.
It is. Share it out onto your socials, get your Facebook and Instagram and whatever else working. If you've done the work, share the story. So that's.
And just talking about Christmas. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be our key advice at the moment for this week going forward with your marketing. Get your business listing up to date, close the hours that you're going to be closed out, and look forward to perhaps a hard-earned break. It's been a long year. Long year.
But talking about Christmas, I'm just going to throw this out there. We have our Businessist Christmas party coming up on the 16th of December. It's a great opportunity for you to meet other business owners, other like-minded people, come and be a part of the business community that you are signed up as. And it is going to be at the Side Door Restaurant. We do need pre-booking so that we can secure the table. We're at about 9 at the moment. We would love to see more people there. But head over to in the Facebook group, or I'm going to send a link out to everyone tomorrow with how you can register for the Christmas party as well, in case you've lost the invite I sent to you all. All right, Anthony, you want to talk about Teams and not Microsoft Teams?
No, not Microsoft Teams, real teams. Teams are people who help you. Recently, I've been fortunate to be a fairly healthy person, so I haven't had a great deal to do with doctors over the years, but I recently had an injury and went to one GP to start with. And this particular GP thought he knew everything. It gave me an immediate diagnosis and perhaps sent me down a path that wasn't appropriate. I then went to another one who had a very different approach. And rather than being a generalist, he acted as a specialist referrer. So he sent me off to a couple of different places to get diagnostic tests. When the results of those came in, he sent me out to a specialist and a physiotherapist and another allied health professional who worked really closely together as a team, treating me as an individual. A friend who works in the social work sector said, oh, that's just called good case management. And it tweaked to me that often in our businesses, we don't have good case management. We have a person who might specialise in one area, for example, IT, and they think they have answers to everything. Or you have a person who specialises in another area who doesn't talk to the IT person. In our businesses, we really need to look at the team of professionals we have around us and make sure that they're all working collaboratively and collectively in our interest to keep us on, or staying on the same page. And to an extent, that's what the Business Assist program is all about, providing businesses with a network of people who have got their back, but work together as well. And that's something which I think, you know, in any business, we can really value, that case management approach that we learn from other disciplines, the medical and social work type spaces, to get people in the right space and moving forward. It's always interesting to look at, you know, other industries and say, wow, there's something that's such common sense to them, but maybe we don't do that in our own field.
Yeah, look, my business fits into that being as a team, as does yours, Anthony. And I guess that's why we're, you know, involved in this, is like we just form parts of the team of being the experts in what we do or the specialists in what we do. And the people that do hire our services have recognised that they can't do it all, and that the importance of having a team. I'm really fortunate that I have a client right now that, you know, I know their IT person, I know their accountant, I know their bookkeeper. I form one part of that team, but together we all talk to each other and we all work together. So you might already in business have a little bit of a team by having, maybe you have a bookkeeper, or maybe, you know, you've got an accountant, but we as part of Business Assist are able to offer those extra parts of your team, like that marketing that you add in, the IT that David adds in, the long-term financial planning that Kevin does, that we all then work together to achieve the great things for the business owner.
That's it. So look, it is a little lesson that I've picked up through the week, and as I say, often you look at different spaces and you see the parallels or the analogies that you can learn, and you can take those on and bring them into your business, and you know, get better value out of it.
Yeah, fantastic. One other thing I was going to touch on is our Facebook advertising workshop that we had previously advertised for December. Look, we will look to try and push that back. We've just, you know, we understand this year's got really busy and it's kind of just got a bit away from everybody. Like you were just telling me, you got a New Year's Eve party invite in September.
I think they were just wishing the end of the year away fairly quickly, actually.
Look, and I think a lot of people are. And so what we'll do is we'll look to do that early next year to really be able to help you all maximise on your Facebook advertising next year. But we will put together some pointers and some tips as well on how to get through Facebook advertising. My understanding is that obviously this week we've got Black Friday tomorrow and Cyber Monday on Monday. So there are a lot of sales happening at the moment. As a result of those, your Facebook advertising gets a bit more expensive because everybody wants in on these things. So we'll think about some pointers to give you guys in the lead up to Christmas and those post-Christmas sale stuff as well, so that you're not maybe overextending on Facebook advertising that may not reach the right customers at the moment. So yes, well, that's all I have. We're going to send out an email tomorrow, guys, with the Christmas party link. Please come along. It is $48 for the meal. I promise you, I've seen the menu. It is tops. Plus there is a drink on arrival as well. So it'll be a great lunch for us just to get together, have some time to relax, talk about the year that it's been, and also start into some downtime. So if you haven't looked at what you're doing for Christmas, maybe plan some time down off your business, or if you're not having some time off at Christmas because of the business that you run, look to have some time off early next year. It has been a crazy year. So yeah, make sure you take some time out for yourselves and rest up. Now, I am going to be back in a few minutes. Anthony and I are going to finish up. I'm going to be back in a few minutes with Kingsley because he's got some other stuff to talk about too.
Well,
all right, cool.
See you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
All right, we are back with Kingsley to talk about a bit more of this week in business. How are you, Kingsley?
Pretty good, Louise. How are you going?
I'm good. It's, I was about to say it's Thursday. It is Thursday. Oh, look at me. Can't even work out what day it is.
Yeah.
So what have you got for us today in This Week in Business?
I just want to talk about something quickly that we haven't done much on it yet ourselves, I guess, through BSW Connect. But about 2 years ago, ASIC, the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, brought out a report saying that unless you got about $500,000 in super, having a self-managed super fund is extremely expensive compared to all the other alternatives. And it came in for a lot of criticism the moment it was released. And there's been a report released this week by Rice Warner, one of the big advisory firms, and Self-Managed Super Fund Association. So, they've got a vested interest in it, but basically saying that in many cases, self-managed super fund can be far cheaper, and particularly depending on how much you're prepared to do yourself, you can probably have a cost-effective super fund, perhaps even below $200,000. And that's probably the thing that sort of, ASIC sort of raced to sort of funds that were getting every single thing done by a highly paid consultant, accountant, lawyer, planner, racking up huge fees when, as the name implies, often the people do a fair bit themselves. And there is a huge range, even in the Southwest, you would find huge ranges in prices of what one planner, one accountant, one lawyer, whatever, might charge to do some of these things. So I guess for people in the sort of small business community that have thought about doing it and sort of hearing this other extremely expensive thing, I guess it would just boil down to just simply shop around and just do some shopping around, some investigating, and you may well find that you can have a self-managed super fund for a quite competitive price, and have it and try to find out what it is you can do versus what your accountant, the auditor, the planner, the whatever may do. So don't just be put off without any investigation at all into looking into one. Particularly, there's many issues and things you have to examine before you go and open up a self-managed super fund. But of course, many small business people do like the idea of owning their premises in a self-managed super fund. That's not necessarily the right answer for everyone. That also needs some investigation. But I fear there's probably a bunch of people out there that might well have been quite keen to do that, and they've been unduly scared off. Shop around, short answer.
Look, and we do have Kevin Salas as part of our network of Businessist partners that he loves a good self-managed super fund. So, as part of your subscription with us, you can actually go and see him for a free session to chat about these things and see whether this could be a good strategy for you.
Yep, and if I'm giving a bit of a plug for Kevin, he is one of the more cost-effective planners in town, and he is one of the ones more keen to do a bit of that. Let's work together, and so you do this and I do that, and customise it up for you, compared to some others. So he would be an excellent person to go and see.
Fantastic. We'll put a link in the comments for Kevin's website and his social media if you do want to check him out. Talking about super funds, it's been in the news a bit this week, although some people are saying it's been a bit covered up. The mandatory rise of super fund mandatory contributions from 9.5% to 12% that was supposed to happen, it seems to be on hold now. Is that right, Kingsley? Did I read that right?
Well, it probably will be. I guess there's still a debate to have in Parliament and whatever else, but given the coalition has the numbers, one would anticipate that probably will be the case. And again, depending on which side of the coin you're on, there certainly will be some employers that will see that as very good news. If you're an employee, perhaps you have a different view. It's sort of, in the theoretical sense, across the entire economy, it's theoretically academic in the sense that if you're not paying them super, then they're going to probably come back and ask for it as wages, is the sort of theory, in the sense that if we suddenly said we're not doing super guarantee anymore whatsoever, the 9.5% was disappeared, employees, I don't think, would become 9.5% cheaper. I think they'd instantly get in the queue and say, right, I need that money coming to me as wages. But in the short term, case by case, I think people do very much see that as, well, that's a cost that I don't have to find just at the moment if they don't do the rise. In terms of the small business owners, I suppose, if I can just slightly segue off that, I do like to see clients put themselves on the wages in doing that super guarantee for themselves. I don't think they should see it as dead weight cost doing their own super to themselves, and it's very, very good insurance if your business doesn't go as well as you hoped at the end, particularly if you don't end up selling it when you retire for as much as you thought you would. You'll meet a lot of small business people haven't put money into super at all, working on the theory that their business will be their super, and then when they've come to sell, it's either been a bad time in the economy, or in many cases people just don't realise small businesses don't sell for what I've had many conversations with someone's come in thinking they're going to sell their business for, say, $1 million, and I've had to tell them, no, that might sell for 300. And they suddenly realise, well, that 700,000 of their retirement plan just vanished. Putting super is a good thing as you go along, even for the owners.
Yeah, so we like to recommend that everybody does make contributions to their super as a business owner. All too often, we as business owners sometimes forget to do it, or there's not the cash flow to do it. But we recommend that you make, some contribution and do it regularly so that you are preparing for your future. Again, something that Kingsley can have a chat with you about in terms of your cash flow, and also Kevin can talk about in terms of your financial planning. They're both super important. And both of them can help you to achieve both your now financial goals as well as your future financial goals. Have you got anything else, Kingsley?
No, we'll keep it short and sweet.
Oh, well, I've actually got something. I've thought of something. I shared into our Facebook group, into this group that this is going live into, a post from Tani at Core West Insurance last night. Hot off the press, WorkCover WA will now have access to your ATO records. So where you previously have had to self-declare your wages for your WorkCover policies, they will now be able to check that against the ATO, and there will be fines, I believe. So check out the post that I shared from Tani yesterday. If you have questions or concerns about your WorkCover coverage, give her a buzz. She's more than happy to help you out to make sure that you have the right coverage, and that the WorkCover is not going to come knocking on the door and say, hey. So that is something new out there. Also for small businesses, fresh off the press yesterday as well, is that our friend Premier Mark McGowan has now announced a Safe WA app to do COVID tracing across businesses. This applies to restaurants, venues, pubs, hairdressers, beauticians, any personal services, real estate agents, basically anywhere that people go. There is now an app, and there's going to be QR codes that you can scan with your app. It is a bit different, I understand, from the COVID Safe app that the federal government implemented, where there was you had to be near someone for 15 minutes and it Bluetoothed and blah, blah, blah. This is actually that you scan a QR code, it registers that you were at that venue, and it's held on a database for 28 days and then destroyed. I don't really know where that database is, but it is so that if COVID does come and hang out in WA again, that the contact tracing is easier to do. Now, some venues may choose to do pieces of paper and writing down a physical register. Some may choose to do the QR code in the app. I have heard from some businesswomen that they're ready to roll with it. They've put it in place already within a few hours of being told that this is something to do. So if you do have a business where people come and see you, you really want to have a read of a post I shared yesterday as well on that to make sure that you are covered. If you are not, if you're not sure, there is a 13, I want to say it's like 13 COVID or something like that, is the phone number for you to call and confirm if your business needs to do that. But it's basically anywhere that people go, we're going to need to track and trace sort of thing. It's so that we don't have, South Australia have a massive lockdown because some guy said that he worked at a pizza joint when he only went there for 5 minutes and picked up a pizza. So just something to be mindful of, guys, that's out there as well. I'm also going to share some email management tips. As a virtual assistant, I've got a few in my pocket to share to help keep you on top of your emails. So keep an eye out for those super quick videos as well that are coming up. But that's it. I've thought of all new things after I spoke to Anthony just 10 minutes ago. So. All right. Well, have a wonderful day, Kingsley, and we will chat with you again next week.
Right. See you, Louise.
Thanks. Bye.